Hello there, it's Patricia from Pinky's World, and I thought I'd drop on and share a wee box that I made this week. I found the tutorial over at Crafty Little Miss K, but I've made a few changes just to suit myself. It's one of those straw closures, one of these birthday straws. I had no punch. My punch was either too small or too big, so I'll show you how I got round that. They also made different scores that I didn't like, so I'm going to change that up too. So this is just a basic rerun of this particular box. So the papers I used for this are Bright and Beautiful. It just opens up like so. I've added these wee rounded corners and a wee finger hole to make it easier to open, and inside it'll hold either money or sweets or whatever you want. Just wondering what that candle fit in. Yeah, there it would. One of those nice candles fits in perfectly. So good we put some crushed up paper at the bottom. It's one of those warm apple and cinnamon from Wickford and Company. Not sure where I got that, it was just sitting beside me here. So anyway, that's what I'm going to show you how to do. I'm doing the next one, it's for a meal, so I want to put money in it. So that's what I'm going with. And you can see my circles aren't quite perfect, but I'll explain you why. But just I could not get my straw through that hole without expanding it with the same punch but moving it about, you know, which was a bit dicey, but I'm happy enough with it. I've decorated the bottom with an old set. I'm sure somebody has had it at some time from Stampin' Up. Tiny Keepsakes, and it has that wee sweet treat, which is perfect. These are old ones that I bought in the sale on Stampin' Up, so keep your eye out for anything reduced. Good time to bet. So let's get started. And you're going to need a piece of whatever colour card you're going to go with. And it's the same size as that lady used, 6 inches by 10 inches. Yeah, 6 inches by 10. You're also going to need some papers for decorating, and it's entirely up to you how many you want to put on. I went with 5. You could put one on the bottom, you could put one on the inside. It's entirely up to you. So I've chopped myself up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 there just in case, and that's from the Country Woods designer paper, which is available at the minute. So we're going to do a bit of scoring first. Oh. And scoring's pretty easy, bar the wee extra bit that they done. I'm going to try and avoid it and see how it comes out. So what we want to do is score the 6 inch side at 2 inches and 4 inches. And then spin it round and do it on 2 inches, 4 inches, 6 inches and 8 inches. Now you can go over and check that out if you want. They did a score line down here and here, which I didn't like. It sort of dented my paper and it was of no other use. I just didn't like it. So I don't think there's any point in it, to be honest. It just makes the whole thing too hard. So we're going to start, this is going to be our top part, and we want to start, I'm going to turn this around because I've drawn myself a wee picture to keep myself right. These ones, this is going to be your inside wee closure, that wee flap that's inside the box. So we can actually cut a bit now before you do any scoring, which does away with those bumpy bits. So just cut right up there to that first wee mark. Same at this side. And then these ones you're just going to keep a wee flap. So you can cut down here. You're taking that one away. And you can cut down the next one. And the next one. And then you're just basically making a wee flap for tucking in, so it doesn't have to be massive, and it doesn't have to be perfect either, and you want 2 of them. So cut right up there. And then just corner those in for neatness. And that's the way you want to repeat on the other side. You're cutting this one away and then leaving yourself a wee flap here and here. So I'll be back in a second. So you should have that so far. Now we're going to work on the top part. This is going to be the main part of the box on two sides, so we need to make those nice wee closures. And if you get yourself a ruler and a pencil, and we're just going to draw a line from here to here. So make sure you get it right up and allow room for your pencil mark. A little hard to see in this black, and then do the same on the opposite corner. And that gives you those two pieces. So we want to cut those away now. So you can cut it on your cutter or use your scissors. Now we need to get a nice wee fold in the centre here. I'm just going to use my wee mini scoreboard. And we're going to measure that right across. From point to point is just in the centre of 3 inches. So you want to line this up so that you have 1.5 on either side. So bring your point there and there. So just make sure that it's butted right up, and then you can just score that down to that point, which is hard to see for you now. Ooh, there. So you've lined it up. Make sure it's butted right up. I have a centre line here, it's 3 inches, so I use it as my centre point so that I know I need 1.5 inches to either side, and it is just slightly under 1.5, so we know to allow the same gap on both sides, and just do that. And then do spin it round again, again go for your 1.5. So we're really just going to that wee line just below the 1.5 mark from there, which is what, 4 and just below 4.5. And on this side the same, just fiddle about till you're happy with it, and again go down, and that should bring you directly to that point, which is where you want to be. So we can get that out of the way. We could now do our wee folds and whatever, burnishing. So do that one, and that's inside your box, which we want to give a wee cut to. Burnish all those lines that you made. I think that's them all. So we just have these ones to do, and these ones actually are going to fold out the ways, so they should fold together and join to give you that nice wee sort of nippy corner. So if you lay it as flat as you can and just give that centre piece a nice wee fold, and do the same to the other side. You want it folding out, so just make sure it's lined up here, and then score, or burnish I should say, and that gives you those two wee holders that's going to keep your box up. So remember to do these flaps here. The reason I didn't do them first was because it gives it that big bulky line. When you go to cut it with your scissors, you're always left a bit of bulk at either side, or some mostly at one side or whatever, and it just knocks your whole box off when you go to crease it up. So I find it easier for me. Now before we start sticking our box, so we snippy hanging off, I want to punch. I'm going to use, where is it, just a 1-inch punch, and I'm going to go to the centre of that. So just a wee bit. I'm not doing the whole half a thing, just a wee bit, so that the person open it can get their finger in and open it a bit easier, just like so. And just to finish off the look of it, I thought I'd round the wee corner of it. Just gives it a nicer wee finish, I think. Just make sure and get it in. Come on. Well, there's something wrong there, isn't there? It's a bit better. So now we can sort out our lines in here for putting the hole through. And if you go to get your ruler and go in the midway point, the last time I just butted the ruler up. I wanted to line it with this point, so butted up. It looks to me like it's just under 3/4 of an inch, so we will go to, and that's including the wee end bit on my ruler there, this piece here. So we want to go to about 1, 2, 3/8, I'd say, and just mark that in the centre. Flip over and do the same on this side. Line it up with that point and mark it at 1, 2, 3/8. And that will give you a rough idea to keep the two lines at the same place. Now I'm using the crocodile. I have a 1/2 inch punch, but it's far too big, and the crocodile is slightly too small, even the big one in it. But what I did was go to your dot, wherever it is, and punch your main one. You probably not see this as straight as me, but I need to see where that dot is. So go to your dot and punch right in the center of it. And then you want to go to the, get your access out so you can see through it. And I'm just going to bring the cut to the very right and to the very left, but only a fraction, not a massive amount. And again, I'm going to have to tip this because it's black and it's so hard to see. And you can see it's changing its shape now. It's getting a bit wonky, but that's what I need to do. Now, if you've got a punch that does the size of your straw, happy days. So I'm just going to use this bit to, see, it still needs another wee bit, so just keep trying your straw in. Goodness, this is so hard to see. Oh, went way too far, just can't see. If I was doing this myself, I'd do it in better light, but there, it's going through. So you need to do the same on the other side. Go to your dot here, go to the center. Oh, come out, you rascal. Take this out, it would help, wouldn't it? Go to the center, and oh my goodness, I cannot see people at all. Fold that back out of the way. I'm going to put this extra wee light on, and if it annoys you, just turn away. I need to see this dot. It's a bit better for me. So again, I'm cutting the center, and it's refusing to come out. And it would be great if that fit, because it would be so flippin' neat and tidy, but it don't. So I have to get right onto that light again. I'm going to pause you because that's bound to be annoying. So that's my holes done, and you can see they're a bit shapeless, but they're not too desperate. Like, turn that light off again. So they're not too bad. They're just a wee tiny bit skew, but you're not going to notice it with the thing, and you're not going to notice it from the side either. So we can build our box now. I'm just going to go with my usual Tombow. Let's start with this one actually. So these are the wee flaps that we're going to stick down. So you want to set that one up nice and straight, and use your table to you know, keep that nice and firm and good, nicely squared up. So we're going to put another wee bit on these. And again, I don't know why I chose black. I suppose it would have been black or else navy, so one wouldn't have been any better. So again, keep it lined up so it's nice and straight there. And let your glue take. Go in with my make sure you're happy with everything. And at the bottom, it's a bit better, isn't it? Now, what we want to do now is stick our papers on. You can see that folds into the center there, like a wee chair, like so, and that gives you that wee finger grip. Makes it so much easier to get that out, doesn't it? I'm going to stick that wee candle in, give us a nice firm tap. This will close down, and these are your holders for your straw, but we want to put our papers in place. So this is like a nice, it has a wood grain on one side and a wood, sort of rusty wood on the other. So I'm just going to stick these in place. If you have a pattern that you're using, make sure that it's happy to run either direction, or else cut them to suit the run of your box. Don't know if that should be run up and down or sideways. I'm going to go sideways anyway. So these are 1 7/8 in square. You could go down to 1 6/8 if it's easier, 1 3/4, because it shows a wee bit more of the black, and I think it might be more striking, you know. So I'm going to continue sticking these on and come straight back. So I have one more piece left that I'm actually going to put here. I don't think they decorated there in that particular tutorial, but I think it really needs it. Where that runs, it might be better. So I'm just going to plonk that there. Just finishes it off that wee bit, and I actually had this wee straw. I thought it matched better with the brown, but I really don't think it matters. So you only need about 3 inches, maybe just over 3 inches, and just thread that through your holes. Decide how far you want it to go out, and then you can just chop a bit off there. If that squeezes up on you, these don't, they're pretty sturdy straws. So all we have to do is give it a wee decoration, and for that I have gone with 1.5 inch circle punch, and I'm using one of the scraps that was left over there, and I have a smaller one, and we need a bit of white. So it's just 1 3/8 scallop punch. This is an old one too. Don't think there's any scallops, but if you have your circle dies, you could use that. So that's going to sit there, and because it's mostly black and it's for a man, I'm just going to go in with black. Really bad, I'm not even cleaning with stamp. And this is the wee sweet treat sentiment. So let's take that off that. Stamp towards the bottom. Where's my lid? And then I'm going to use one of these wee stars, which is close enough to the colour, it'll do okay. And just put a wee star at the top. And then it still looked a bit drab, so if you get a fine line pen and just put a wee dab, if you're using scallop punch or whatever, a wee dot, just follow the line of the scallop, and it just picks that up a wee bit. Now, just going to stick that on top. Oops. On your 1.5 inch. And then I'm just going to add a big piece of foam on the back. And just make sure that you're at the opening. Don't stick it on the back of your box. And just center it in the front there. Now you could go to town on this if it's for a girl. You could go entirely different, you know, but I think they're pretty sweet wee boxes. And as I say, if you go and check her tutorial out, I can link it down below for you. If you check it out and see that she did the 2 wee bars, there's no point in it. Just, I wouldn't bother if I was you. Like, I mean, I can see lines where I scored it and stuff. I just don't like it. So whatever turns you on, whatever works for you. That one was quick and easy and no bother. And that's me for another wee while. So hopefully I'll catch you again soon. Bye.